This is one of my Singer Model 237s. You'll have to excuse the crooked placemat. This one is from Vermont. I learned to sew on a machine on one of these in middle school when I was 12, but they're more than just a school machine. If you go through the playlist about machine embroidery and you see that there are several different options, one of which, in my case, is the Bishop sewing system hand crank, which you see on the bed of the machine there, to use as a hand crank. It's got a 1 stitch per turn ratio, which I actually find very accurate. I found I like it better than a Model 66 hand crank. But if you're going to buy one machine, this is still the machine I recommend. And I'll tell you why, even after all I've learned with the machine embroidery I've been doing for the past few days. It's got an external motor that could be replaced with a new current motor and foot pedal if needed. It is one of Singer's only machines that can also be treadled because it has the belt groove in the hand wheel. With the Bishop Sewing System's hand crank, it can be a hand crank. And the fourth element that this machine has automatically is the zigzag. So my 3 machines were going to do when I move, cross hatching, hand crank embroidery, and then be able to use low shank attachments to attach cording or outline. This one machine can do it all. Some of the others can also do it all, like the 1591 could do all of it. But the advantage here is the zigzag and 3 methods for disabilities, 3 methods of power right off the bat: electric, hand crank, or treadle. And you would need the Bishop hand crank, but to have those 3 ways of powering this machine right off the bat, and then built-in zigzag, for a long time I've told people, will say, what machine should I buy? I always say get a 237. It'll do everything you need to do. It's from 1968 to 1972. Many of them, if not all of them, were made in Italy at the Singer Monza, Italy plant. Some were made in France, I believe. They're metal. They're all metal. I believe they still have metal gears. Some of the gears might be plastic. To oil it, you take off the lid, which is easy to take off, and oil it. And it's probably the forerunner to the 6212C that I have, except it's metal and solid. It's not a free arm. It takes class 15 bobbins. It's a class 15 machine. So those are very common bobbins. It's not a rotary. But from a perspective of what if this happens, what if that happens, what if this happens, and I still need to sew, you've got hand crank, electric, and treadle, and then a built-in zigzag with 4 zigzag widths.